Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Nancy Pelosi has outlined exactly what's left in the stimulus negotiation. Larry Kudlow is complaining. GDP hit 7.4% in the third quarter, a substantial rebound from digging us out of the hole, and COVID is on the rise again. Let's talk. Just remember to get 3 free stocks with Webull. That offer expires in 2 days. You deposit $100 and they give you 3 free stocks worth up to $1,600. And of course, get life insurance in as little as 5 minutes via the link down below. You can Apple Pay and Android Pay for it. Okay, first, it's very important to remember that when you hear headlines like, yay, the GDP is up 33.1%, remember that when you hear these large numbers, they're using an annualized rate. The GDP went up 7.4% in the third quarter. We climbed out of a huge hole. So when you hear those headlines about 33.1%, just know they're multiplying by 4. The media did the same thing in the second quarter. In the second quarter, they're like, yay, GDP. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. GDP fell 31.4%. Oh, my gosh. They multiply by 4. Usually we get excited by GDP data. Obviously, in the second quarter, we didn't. Now people are jumping up and down because it's, yay, 33.1%, but they're multiplying by 4. So the reality is not as great. And remember, we came out of a hole. Nancy Pelosi released a statement and held a press conference this morning providing us a stimulus update. Let's go ahead and pull up the letter so we can see it exactly and add some commentary as necessary to it. So here's the letter. This is Nancy Pelosi's letter, and this is to Steve Mnuchin. So now they are communicating via letter since they did not talk on the phone over the last couple days. Usually they do. So as she starts off by saying, hey, look, 8 million people are falling into poverty, 17 million children are food insecure, over 23 million workers are on unemployment, and hey, more than a week ago, it was actually 14 days ago, you publicly announced that the White House would accept Democrats' testing, tracing, and treatment language with only a light touch, and we still have not received a final answer on the new compromise language. So it's honestly shocking that it seems like I don't know where this holdup is. Obviously, reading Nancy Pelosi's letter, she's blaming the other side. But it's honestly shocking that we still do not have language on testing, tracing, and treatments, especially as cases are rising. So then we're still waiting for state and local government funding. Remember, on this, we are $117 billion apart. Republicans are at $300 billion. Democrats are at $417 billion. On schools, still waiting for an additional $119 billion. Republicans are willing to do $105. Democrats want $224 billion. On childcare, Democrats want an additional $32 billion. Honestly, it seems like no progress at all has been made on any of these top priorities. The tax credits for working families, the earned income tax credits, the child tax credits, the unemployment insurance. Are they going to go for $400, $600? And this is shocking too, because I thought we had already come to terms with workers being safe. But apparently Nancy Pelosi is still waiting for a response on whether the White House will agree to keep our workers safe with OSHA protections as part of the liability protections package. So a little bit of a bummer here, and this is no surprise, but it's nice to see Nancy Pelosi at least outline exactly what's left. Unfortunately, what's left is pretty much everything, which is very frustrating. Nancy Pelosi is using this to sort of beg the administration for a response, but in fairness, the administration and Larry Kudlow complain that the media received this letter to Mnuchin before Mnuchin received it. Now, this is a common thing that both sides say. Both sides have literally been complaining about this. Nancy Pelosi will say this, Steve Mnuchin will say this. They'll go on and say, it seems like we're talking through the media, which is a pretty bad way to negotiate, in my opinion. Nancy Pelosi further said that there would be dire consequences of not providing a second round of stimulus sooner. This is, of course, echoed by economists. Also, the European Central Bank held a meeting on stimulus, and they hinted that they may be providing more stimulus in December in response to the new lockdowns we're seeing in France and the lockdown light we're seeing in Germany. However, Germany has stated that they will be immediately providing strong stimulus support or relief to businesses that are closing because of the new light lockdowns or lockdown light. Now, this is something that obviously we in America are, in my opinion, failing at. And I think most of us can agree. We have a lot of restrictions with way too little relief for businesses and individuals. On COVID, cases are up to 81,457 and deaths are up to 1,016 yesterday. Cases are now up 41% on a 14-day trend, and sadly, this may begin spiking even higher. New York City stores will be allowed to start selling products in the street. I'm honestly surprised they didn't allow that months ago, since now we're going into the winter. Andrew Cuomo of New York says it's small gatherings that are creating issues with cases rising. This comes as 80 people in the Northeast held a Sweet 16 party, which is now being called a super spreader event, where 37 people were later tested positive for COVID. And this party was fined $12,000 for violating rules. And a wedding was held with 156 people in Virginia, where 30 people ended up testing positive, and the wedding venue was fined $17,000 for holding the wedding. Golly, folks, well, that's the update for this morning. Get your life insurance in as little as 5 minutes. It's super easy to do. We didn't have to test. We didn't have to meet anyone. It was super easy to do, and a pandemic's the time to get it. Get your 3 free stocks. Thank you so much for being here and for your support. We'll see you next time.